Network Entertainment.
This is brought to you by Myrtle.
Hello, students and junior professionals of PR and communications. We are here having the conversation on the Pioneer PRSP YouthCon in a podcast. This is Breaking Down the Bus. And I'm your host, Manansala, president of the new channel. And I'm here to talk about something that is really very relevant to the youth of today. And I will be joined in by three respectable women in the industry. I'm so proud of all of them. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Miss Myrtle Ramos, the founder and CEO of Block Tides. They're going to be talking about themselves further later. We have Miss Abby Asistio, the founder of Alopecia Philippines. And we have Miss Directo, the country manager of Hepmil Philippines and the vice president of CICP. Hello, ladies.
Hello. Hi.
Kumusta kayo?
We're very excited for whatever we'll converse today.
Okay, so that's great. And Jel, because you're the one who said you're very excited, maybe it's right up, it's right timing for you to tell us something about what you guys do in Hepmil and maybe a little bit of CICB.
Yes, okay. I think we're very most known with our famous show, Jikonyo. So the sheesh. Di bagay sa akin? But yes, so we're PGAG. PGAG is part of Hepmil Philippines. We have Hepmil Creators Network also. We have more than 500 creators centering on TikTok. So we started with comedy content and then eventually lifestyle and then now social commerce, like live selling and all that. And then we also have another gaming arm also. So how I would always describe our company is that we are very much the experts in connecting brands to the most influential generation, which is millennials and Gen Z. So that's where we are.
So she's leading that. Okay? How about you, Abby?
Right, so you mentioned I'm an alopecia awareness advocate. I'm founder of Alopecia Philippines. It's a hair loss condition. I've had this since I was 4, but it was only in 2012 that I decided to come out, be bald, and tell people that there's actually this condition. So I'm also a singer-songwriter and a host, and I found a way to use my platform as a musician also to bring and shed light towards the condition. And since we started the group, we've been doing annual events, different support groups, projects, campaigns for awareness for alopecia.
How about you? Thank you so much, Abby. How about you, Myrtle?
So pretty much I do everything. No, just kidding. I'm the CEO of Block Tides. So we started out as an events company before, way back 2017. And then after that, we've grown to PR and marketing during pandemic. So the big breakthrough that happened to me, blessing in disguise at the same time, that we actually closed around $20 million for projects. And at the same time, now we're actually a venture capital already, and at the same time tech provider. So everything is just like a combination of PR, marketing, KOL we can provide. So because I do believe in Alibaba, the founder. So why not be everything? At the same time, provide value to your network. So at the same time, I'm also a writer and singer. And of course, I'm one of the members of Forbes Business Council and Cointelegraph Innovation Circle. So our niche is basically Web3, the metaverse, NFTs, cryptocurrencies, and blockchain.
So as you can see, for our viewers and also for our listeners, very iba-iba, no?
Yeah.
Ang forte ng ating mga kasama for this.
Feeling ko ang dami ko nung matututunan ngayon.
Correct. So this will be a lot of listening to me and letting them speak because obviously this event is being done or this conversation is being done, Breaking Down the Bus. It's a 12-part podcast series that tackles one different topic every time there's a podcast. So this is one of those 12 topics. And I do believe that this is one of the could be or possibly more controversial topics or topics that I'm very sure you guys need to learn more about or understand more about. Because just a little bit of kanina before this, the shoot, no? Nakakatuwa na we were discussing already na parang ito na yon.
Yeah.
No? And we cut it para lang at least makita nyo how even kami as supposedly the main people who will give information to the audience are actually learning, right? As we are discussing this particular topic. So, we look around and everything we see is information, right? So much information, so much news, so much fake news. So it's time to discuss the topic today, which is influencers, KOLs, content creators, and the rise of relevance. Okay, so I'm pleased to welcome, of course, these ladies. And we're gonna jump on to our first controversial question. Okay, the first question for everyone, okay? First, can we break down the term KOL? Because the young people might be confused, like me, being part of their generation.
Same tayo.
Doon tayo. And can you let us be more immersed into the difference of this versus, let's say, an endorser? Jel, would you like to?
Okay.
start?
I'll define endorser first because that's easiest. Okay, so endorser, obviously, this would be a person that is paid for to endorse a specific brand or product. As compared to a key opinion leader would be someone who constantly drives an opinion or an influence, whether or not there is brand involved. So that's how I would define both. Wow.
It was
So,
like
next
wow.
question.
It's very clear though.
Yeah.
And it's very short, in fairness.
Very crisp.
So,
Thank you.
ayan,
It's the
ayan.
mic.
How about you, Abby? You wanna add something to what Jel has shared?
I know the definitions medyo blurry na now, but for me kasi, and we came into this kanina,
Yes.
my idea talaga of a KOL is someone who's an expert in a particular field and kumbaga meron na siyang, legit yung mga opinions niya regarding a particular topic. Meron siyang authority to talk about that. So that's what's a KOL for me.
How about you?
Actually, same. No. When it comes to my unique, because before, KOL is really different in our industry. Yeah. So KOL are really like CEOs, and then at the same time, yung may mga executive levels for Web3 and cryptocurrency. And at the same time, nag-boom na nga yung pag-hype ng mga cryptocurrencies, Shiba, yung mga famous coins na naglabasan. Even Elon Musk actually promoted whatever coins that he's promoting. So, the best example is basically Elon Musk, right? He's a CEO. He has a say in the tech industry. And then at the same time, yung influencers naman are really promoters na wala namang influence. Hindi naman really influence, pero not really that expert. Pero paid sila to actually just promote something. So, for me, is really, values. And then at the same time, yung tipong may substance ba?
Yeah.
Yun yung pinaka real substance, and then may say ka, influence, versus endorser, which is the influencers. You can just endorse someone, and then you can actually just be in the billboard just to endorse and be paid. Right? Unlike KOLs, basically, may laman.
Okay.
So, yung perspective mo, your wisdom, including, yun yung pinaka-difference niya for me.
Right.
Pero meron kasing contesting situation now, right, in the marketing, which I have learned off-cam, which I'd like also to be aired, no? Kasi important siya na maintindihan
Yes.
ng mga listeners and viewers natin. Ano ba yung context of marketing ng
Right.
KOL? Because I think dun yung thin line of baka nga hindi na thin line kasi coming into this conversation parang naging even thicker line siya na is it really just influencing someone or influencing someone na dapat nga may substance?
Right.
Jel, you wanna raise something because I understand you guys are handling several people in different platforms.
Right. I think how I would address this would be, how when brands would create their plan, their media plan and all, along with their agencies, they would select the celebrity that will endorse the campaign. That means the celebrity, he'll be part of the TVC or the main material, and then they will allocate a specific budget. Say, okay, I'll pay 10 million for my celebrity, and then I will allocate 5 million for my KOLs. And then this KOL can already be divided into the mega influencer or the for micro, mid, and all that. So KOL would consist of a lot of different opinion leaders, and that is why over dinner earlier I was sharing that the influencers are all opinion leaders because I guess to address also what she shared earlier, oftentimes people would think that the KOLs would have to be experts in their field, like a doctor or a teacher, but then we forget that in the today, if you are able to be an expert of what you do, you can be a KOL. So an example that I could share here would be a Gen Z na magaling maghanap ng the thrift shops, ukay-ukay. And then she would always feature that. So somehow she becomes an expert into that very unique activity, and that makes her a KOL in that field. So every one of us, because people are passionate now, they end up having their own craft, passionate about podcasts and all. So that makes you a KOL. So I guess that's how I see it.
Yeah. And actually, Jel, ano rin naman siya because yun pa rin naman yung definition niya.
Right.
It's just that parang nafa-fast track yung pagiging KOL mo.
Agree.
Because to the point of Myrtle earlier, dapat nga may substance eh. So
Correct.
dapat pag may substance, tanungin mo siya left and right, top to bottom, alam niya yan, right? So,
Can I add also?
Yes.
Kasi kanina, about being an endorser, it's just parang okay, someone's paid or may budget for the endorser. But actually, the endorsers, KOLs are the best endorsers. Parang, I don't think a brand would go with someone who is not able to relate or is aligned to
Yes.
what the brand is all about. And parang kasi like, ako, I'm an endorser for a hair product. Because I've had alopecia and I'm a leader of Alopecia Philippines.
Yes.
And for them to tap that market, they need someone who could relate to that market and knows what she is talking about. So, parang ang hirap din kasi to get an endorser just for the sake of, sikat siya. Pero pag tinignan ng mga tao, anong kinalaman niya dun sa brand na yan, di ba?
Agree.
Parang, yeah, they all, parang with everything, I think, even with the influencers, it's a matter of a person owning their personal brand as well, and that's what makes him or her authentic enough to be chosen as an influencer, as a KOL, or as an endorser.
Actually,
I love that.
meron kaming part sa PR. So, we do like niche segmentation, tawag namin doon.
Yeah.
So, at the same time, kunwari, etong KOL na ba to or influencer na to, do they promote games, for example? Kaso hindi naman pala siya nagpo-promote ng games.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, di porket ang dami niyang followers, bibigay mo sa kanya yung project, right? So, it's really the niche segmentation. So, it's due diligence as well. It's very important, especially sa Web3. Because it involves like financial, yung mga financial stuff natin, right?
Yeah.
So, yun yung the best. And then quality as well.
Right.
Kasi yung quality is very number one for me choosing a KOL. Kasi what if putyo-putyo, hindi naman ako ng di ba? Or nagja-judge ng mga posts or contents.
Yeah.
But sometimes hindi natin mapigilan as a human being like quality ba yung pinopost niyan? Do they have like a proper caption? Ako kasi super meticulous ko when it comes to caption and your personal branding. So, yan ang magdadala sa'yo sa sobrang lalaking brands, to be honest.
I'll add a bit.
Yes,
And I think what I want to highlight here is the differences in generation, I guess. What's available today na hindi available before.
Yes.
So, choosing an endorser before, correct what you said, na kung sino yung sikat, diba? I could choose this celebrity, siya ang endorser and whatever. And people can't really validate if this person is actually aligned to the values of the brand.
Or ginagamit ba niya talaga?
Diba?
Sa tayo.
No one would know kasi wala naman Instagram stories. You wouldn't see all these things. But then now, people really value authenticity. Kasi right now, they could, like really see what she does after her shoot, what happens during the weekends.
Yeah.
So that's the difference now, and that's
I
why
love that word.
authenticity is
Authenticity.
even more like the value of the KOLs now. If they're able to provide that, mas bagay yun kay brand. And yun nga, before wala namang ganun eh. So they could just choose the most popular artista, and yun na si endorser.
You know,
Great
in a
point.
spiritual context, kasi malalo of attraction ako eh, di ba? So, just imagine, yung pagiging valuable and authentic mo kasi, dyan magdadala yung super dami ng abundance, especially sa projects. So, yeah.
And the projects that will come to you are the ones that are aligned dun sa energy din na binibigay mo.
Yes, exactly.
So kagaya nyo na mga nakikinig sa amin ngayon, natututo rin ako sa kanila. And actually, yung question number 2 natin, sinagot nyo na eh. Pero, can I just specifically ask this to Abby? Medyo konting himay pa dun sa question natin na yun. Kasi, for those who are listening or watching, no, you might have seen this person in a billboard or in a recent TV commercial or in social media endorsing something. And I'd like to ask lang, like ikaw, Abby, how do you approach, kunyari, confirming a brand for you to endorse? Kasi among all of us here, I think lumalabas ka talaga sa TV to really endorse a specific
Actually, more
product
of a-
talaga.
Yeah, but I think that started then with going back to the magical word authenticity eh. Parang hindi mo hinanap yung opportunity eh, because you're so solid with who you are. Like, yes, I'm an alopecia awareness advocate, but it's a story about owning your weaknesses and limitations, rising above it, and using it to your advantage. It's not a limitation sa lahat ng gusto mong gawin sa buhay. So from there, it's not just about alopecia awareness. Naging advocate din ako for women empowerment. As a singer, my music is inspirational. It's about empowerment. So yung mga lumalapit na brands, or when I'm invited to speak, or mga seminar, ganyan, it's all for that. Like, sabi mo kanina, makikita nila yung nasa story saka sa Instagram. I won't be invited to do a fitness camp workshop kasi I don't know anything about that. In fact, delayed ako when it comes to that. So, pag kunyari inask ako, pwede ka ba kunyari mag super buds or whatever? Parang, hindi ako para dyan. So, alam mo rin kung ano yung opportunities na oohan mo, pero yung hindi mo rin tatanggapin. If you see that it's not aligned with who you are as a person and what you stand for. And I think that goes back to this whole topic about key opinion leaders. Yun nga, ano ba yung opinion mo? Ano ba yung stand mo bilang isang tao? It's not just about platforms and followings and likes and endorsements. It's really about nagtatranslate lang, nag-overflow kung sino ka bilang tao into all these business things and marketing, advertising stuff. It's an overflow of who you are as a person.
So I guess, the rise to relevance is really, number 1 is really authenticity, no? Kahit na you're choosing someone to endorse or to influence, or someone choosing a partner, choosing which one to sign up with, and even on the perspective of an actual influencer or like a key opinion leader, you really have to be authentic kasi lalabas siya eh, especially in this day and age, no? Makikita talaga ng mga tao.
Again, ito kasi yung pinaka it's okay to say no. Yan ang pinaka sasabihin ko, lalo na sa mga taong parang, yes, opportunities napaka-overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes that no can be really powerful. Kasi it's up to your discernment kasi.
Yeah.
So, ask guidance. Kung ano man yung pinaniniwalaan nyo, we are a Christian country naman. So, whatever you believe in, ask for guidance, your higher self, whatever, na tama ba tong decision ko?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all of our decisions will actually lead us, either will win or will learn.
Actually, ang ganda nun din, no? Kasi that can touch on the people who are choosing the influencers, and at the same time yung mga aspiring influencers or even yung influencers, diba, like which one do you really choose? Because it's it's very hard, even ako, na not everything is about money, but I think you will have to come to that point to where you can bravely say that.
Just
Kasi
imagine, I
mahirap yan.
declined ate, 500,000 pesos deal. I declined because it's not resonating with what I do. And then parang scam siya. So, of course, credibility. Addition siyan sa authenticity. Kasi yan ang pinaka magdadala sa'yo. Again, when it comes. Kasi ang credibility, pag yan, nasira, wala na.
Yan yung magsisira. Magbabagsak.
And I would like to even expand that if we have more time actually kasi what's in the context of someone naman who is leading these people, who needs to be credible, who needs to act like, okay, you have to act like an influencer ha,
Right.
and you have to create your content properly,
Right,
diba? So
right.
parang how to become a mom of all these 500 people
Yeah,
who you
so
need to
brave.
like, diba, like, do you need to police them? Do you need to tell them that, hey, you're a KOL at this level, ha? Pero you have to use it properly.
Right. You know, there are a lot of network and agencies that have been mothering. That's the word, no? Mothering a lot of creators since like maybe a decade and a half ago. But I think what makes ours different to this age would be we started in 2020, which is when TikTok actually started, which means that it's the generation of the Gen Zs going over to the platform and then having their own platform and voice. So it means we have to really guide these Gen Zs on how to influence better, on how to be professional, and at the same time how to be credible, how to have integrity.
Jel, I'd like the listeners and the viewers to understand talagang quick guide. Kaya mo mag-share sa amin. Like, may kailangan kang paluin. For example, like, ano yung quick guideline? Like, okay, ikaw ganito ka na ha, pero dapat ganito yung maging direction mo. Do you actually get into that point?
Yes.
Na talagang,
Of course, we have we have an exclusive creator. Siguro, I could share. There's Jico, part of our network. We also have Pipay. So we get to have these deeper conversations with them.
so
on
may
how-
say ka pag halimbawa hindi mo masyadong gusto yung ginawa ni Pipay, for example, or ni Jico.
We could
Lumagpas siya, for example.
We could, yes, definitely. We could advise them. And at this point, they listen, which is
Okay,
good.
that's good.
And even off air, off cam, we get to talk to them about, okay, like, you know, yung mga even handling finances or family or relationships and time and how to ensure that you get to continue the work. But mga ganon. It's not just about the content itself. But in terms of the bigger population, so si creators at large na to, no? We get to remind them regularly every quarter on how to be brand safe. May ganon, mga rules on brand safety. There are some topics you need to avoid. And then how to be credible and how to be professional also. Siguro, sabi mo, may napapalo ba and all. Of course, we have to take a stand also when someone doesn't follow the contract. We have to really, parang kumbaga,
Impose it to them, no?
Oo, kasi we can't just always baby these people to the brands. We also need to show to the brands na, hey, we are really helping you and helping them also. So, yeah.
Could I add
Yes,
to
sure,
something she
Abby.
said? You mentioned it about these people continuing what they
Yes.
do. I think coming back also to being so aligned and authentic, it's the most tiring thing to have to pretend to be someone that you're not.
That
And
is.
I think if you're just going with the trends, sikat si ganito, marami siyang followers kasi he does this, he does that, and you're gonna try to copy that person, mauubusan ka.
Totoo.
Gagawin mo lang siya for the sake of, because I wanna get the same, attention that she's
Project,
getting.
yeah.
But if you're just being yourself, hindi ka mauubusan because ikaw yun eh.
Correct.
Ine-express mo lang kung sino ka as a person. Of
Ganda.
course, there's ways for us to improve and to always elevate, but it's coming from an organic place.
It's actually about, add ko lang.
Yeah.
Kasi ang ganda ng flow ng ano natin. May post ako recently, you can just check it out sa profile ko. It's about actually changing the lives of others eh. Kasi, me, words are really a spell. I believe in magic, I believe in law of attraction. Ako, magpapakatotoo na ako sa mga pinaniniwalaan ko kasi this is me.
Yeah.
This is the authentic me. And at the same time, yung words can really speak life.
Yeah.
Right? So, if you actually just put it sa caption mo, ang daming makakabasa niyan. At the same time, again, it's a responsibility being a KOL. Magiging perspective or belief nila yun.
Totoo.
And that's very important.
Yeah. I totally believe so too. Kasi like coming into this, we're trying to qualify, 'di ba, the words, the terms that were given to all of us. So ako, may pa-diagram pa ako sa notes ko na parang okay, let's define nga ano ba yung influencer because I really believe that all of us can be influencers eh. From bata to matanda, you can be called an influencer whether in this day and age or even before or in the future.
Right.
Mas maraming ang batang nakaka-influence sa magulang nila. So it's actually the act that you do, right? You become an influencer when at least one person is attracted to what you said,
Lalo na
right?
sa K-pop. Even me, I'm a single mom by the way. Pati yung mga K-pop na bago, ITZY, yung mga new jeans, ngayon ko lang nalalaman kasi na-influence ako ng daughter
Yes.
ko. So,
Yes.
it's really a big thing now.
Yes. And it differentiates then the definition of a KOL, the level of it, like depending on ano yung pagkakaintindi nyo, ano yung experience nyo about it, like asaang level kayo in finding the influence of someone or your own influence. I think nagbabago siya, but I think the good perspective that this conversation is bringing to all of us is that may art and science to that, 'di ba? Merong understanding the marketing side of it. So you have to learn about that, how is KOL perceived in the marketing, in the branding, 'di ba? Because when you're trying to look for a brand, kailangan, or for a brand to match, for example, your influencer, kailangan alam mo yon, di ba? And then it couples with content creator. And then we were also talking kanina, okay, pag content creator ka ba, automatic influencer ka? Pwede, right?
Pwede. Yes.
Pwede,
If you
diba?
have following, yes.
Yes. Pag KOL ka, almost automatic influencer ka, diba? Because in the old context of it, you're a thought leader. So meaning thought leader ka of a group at least, right? Or a few people, right? Who will be interested in what you're saying. So it's really very important though that in this day and age, in business, in school, in our day-to-day lives, naintindihan talaga natin yan, the proper use of it and understanding of it. And which is actually why we have this conversation nga. So, you guys think that this is just a fad? Like, ngayon lang ba to? Actually, let me just expound that a little bit more, no? Kasi in TNC, hindi to plug, sorry. Sorry. No, one of my tasks, and it was tasked to me by the board of TNC, is to really look for the right person to create the content or the show. And key talaga to na unang-una kong tanong is, okay, you want to create a show. Okay, but if I'm gonna ask you, and how do you want to see yourself 5-10 years, parang nagja-job interview. Pero actually kasi napaka-helpful nun eh. Sabi ko, if there are words or topics or conversations that you want to associate yourself with, let's say 5 years from now, short term, yun yung pinaka-short term ko, ano yung hindi mo matatapon sa lahat ng ginagawa mo? And 5 years from now, you'll still be relevant to wherever or whoever's gonna see you.
Yeah.
Kasi I think yun din yung ginagawa ng, I do believe it's the KOL probably side of me, na you don't wanna create something now na after 5 years magbabago pa yung isip mo. So whether you're 20-year-old, 15 years old, 25 years old, whatever you're doing as a KOL, as a content creator, as an influencer, as a Gen Z, as a Gen X, millennial, boomer, wherever you are, kailangan 5-10 years from now, if someone picks up that content, proud ka pa rin. And you guys agree, no? Dapat ganon. So anyway, masyado nang serious yung sinabi ko. But ganon siya. So I think ayun nang iwan ko siguro for that context of KOL. Because to me, it's not a fad, I think. Cyclical siya. It's a cycle. It changes, syempre, di ba? But you have to be aware and proud of what you're doing 5-10 years from now. Kasi it will have an effect not only to your environment, to the people you're influencing, but also to yourself, di ba? You don't wanna be, di ba? Ayaw mo nagtatago ka somewhere na, ayoko, ginawa ko ba yan? Nakakaya.
Actually, i-connect ko yung ate quickly. Pagdating sa history So, yung history before, media, di ba censored lahat? Even lahat tayo, ang dami nating hindi nalaman, ay, ganito pala yun. Parang sinabi ko, ay, dapat pala nung bata ako, alam ko siya. And then, ngayon, yung digital era natin, since I believe in astrology again, it's really the power to the people na ate. So, it's not fad. Kasi, the power will really be in the rise of the creators, yung mga authentic na tao. Doon siya mapupunta for the next century. I remember this day when I said that. At the same time, even tech will actually boom, especially yung AI.
How about you, Jel? What's your what's your forecast
I think,
of the creators that you guys are handling?
The best example was the pandemic. Isang pandemic lang, and suddenly you have like a positive swarm of people influencing people because we're all just at home, diba? So I do believe that it will continue to grow, and it's also dependent on the development of technology. Technology out of it, you put it out, walang internet, walang ganyan, there is no spread of influence. But because there is, and people have time, it just continues to grow, and everyone just is there. Across all generations. I remember people would always think na Gen Z lang yung platform na ito, whatever, ganyan. And then now, it's just cross. Even lolas and all.
Even the Dr. Vicky Bello,
Yes,
right?
like everyone
I
there,
really
yeah.
love her TikToks. It's just like we haven't seen that side niya, diba? It's just like, oh wow, it's really powerful.
How about you, Abby? What's your
For
forecast?
me, hindi siya, fad. Kasi ever since may mga influencers na, nagkaroon lang ng extra highlight now because of technology. And everyone feeling that they could have the courage to put themselves out there. Before kasi, yung mga napapanood lang natin sa TV, sila yung sikat, okay sila, yung mga ginagawa nila, sinasabi nila, I have that platform na rin pala for my Instagram and Facebook. So, patuloy-tuloy siya. Hindi siya mawawala. I feel like it's more a matter of the value and substance that you use your influence for, because you could have influence for even the most, I wouldn't say stupid, pero yung walang kakwenta-kwentang bagay, pwede ka magka-influence. Pero at the end of the day, ano yung may impact sa buhay ng ibang tao? Ano yung tatatak sa kanila? Wag natin sayangin yung mga laway natin, utak natin, camera, MB natin, for something na pag nakita ng mga tao in the future, like what you said, parang smirk lang sila. Parang, it's also, like what you said kanina, it's a responsibility. We all have the responsibility. And at the same time, for the people watching, it's also your responsibility to check out who you're actually following and whose opinions you're adhering to.
Sige, Abby, to that note, we have to end this conversation, but I'd like to ask you, this is a bonus question. No, that this goes for all of you before we end. And then maybe you can continue na rin if you wanna promote anything. If you're given a chance, parang beauty queen question to. Wala to sa script nila. Hi, guys. So, I mean, granting that you're influencing right now and also in your different fields, no? Like, Jel, for one, you're starting to influence as well. Kumakanta rin po yan. Si Jel, lahat silang tatlo actually kumakanta sila. Can follow them. How do you given all the perspectives that we have heard for today, how do you see yourself now? Like, are you a KOL? Are you a content creator? Or are you an influencer? And that goes to all of you. Heart ba? Sabi ko sa'yo, pang beauty queen yan eh. Bagay naman sa'yo.
I would say KOL, simply because I know who I am. I stand by who I am, and I know kung hanggang saan lang din ako. Like what you said, it's important to say no also. I know what I'm talking about. Don't ask me about... I'm the type of person who is not afraid to say, I don't know about that eh. Or maybe I'm not the right person for that. Because ganun ka-solid din yung pagkakakilala ko sa sarili ko. I think the content creation and the influence are effects. Parang I could be a KOL and I could create content on the side. I have all the influence, but it's really more of being a key opinion leader, meaning a leader in my life. Leader of who I am and the path that I know that is right in front of me.
Anything that you want to promote? Let's jump in.
Please, if you have alopecia, follow us at Alopecia Philippines. We have a group for people with a hair loss condition, and I'm looking at releasing new music next year.
Oh,
so
she's
please
also an artist.
Check out my music on Spotify, Apple Music, and also follow me at Asistio on all digital platforms.
There you have it.
Oh,
Thanks.
one
Yes,
more, Advocally.
Sure.
We have a digital music platform which promotes Filipino music. It's called Advocally. Please follow us, www.advocally.com.
Nice.
Parang yun yung ano nyo doon.
Yung tagline.
How about you, Jel?
Okay, I'll answer this. I'll end my term the way I started it also. I'll go back to KOL. I think ang operational word for me there is opinion. And opinion, we all believe in different opinions. So in the same way as beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Ayun, pang beauty contest talaga to. Bigyan natin ng isa.
Opinion is also dependent on who is listening. So again, we all have our different KOLs whom we follow. So that yun yung nagkulay dun sa drawing. The fact that we are all able to pick our own KOLs and who we want to believe. In the same way that goes back to, my answer to your question, then I would say I would be a KOL in my own field and interests, be it at work, be it in church, or be it in tennis, whatever. Diba?
Or singing.
In all of those aspects, I'm able to share my opinion and lead people into maybe influencing them to knowing what I'm doing or to knowing more about that should they be curious. So, I guess, I'd like to say I drive more in the opinion of it than imposing that I create influence. Mas maganda rin sabihin yun, mas humble. So, yes.
And I thank you.
And I thank you.
Anything to promote, Jel? I'm sure marami.
CICP, for those that want to be part of like a creator group and influence, please join that. And also, please follow PGAG in all social channels. It will really make your day a better one. And of course, Hepmil Philippines, if you're a creator, you want to be part of a network, please just get in touch with me. You can look for me on LinkedIn, Jel Directo.
Yay, great. Thank you, Jel. How about you, Myrtle?
So, I don't want to be called as an expert. Kasi we all learn, right? It's just that nauna tayo, we have different gifts. So, I want to be called, siguro, nandun sa tatlong pagpipilian is KOL. Because, yes, my opinion, if it resonates with you, I'm not afraid to actually tell you. Kasi it's through my experiences sa mga sinishare ko. And I just don't want to be someone na imi-mislead ko yung tao. Right? Because again, KOL is really a responsibility. At the same time, it creates beliefs sa tao and drive those people in the right way. Drive them into changing their lives. Kasi there's this one I want to share. I posted something about confidence. And then may nag-PM sa akin sa Telegram. I cried after it. Kasi ako nasa parang depressed mode na rin ako noon eh. Diba? We are all humans. And then, sinabi niya, dahil lang dun sa post ko na yon, na-inspire siya, dapat mag-give up na siya. So those small acts, it's just like, oh wow, nakakapag-influence pala talaga. Dati, tinatanong ko sarili ko, talaga ba? Sabi ko, makakapag-influence ba talaga ako ng mga tao? And then it just came out naturally. Ayoko nga tinatawag ako na influencer way back. And then, I just want to actually be the one leading an example. Kasi again, ito yung nakaano na if you want to change the world, start it sa sarili mo.
Ganda naman.
So, yun ang pinaka gusto kong i-share. Kasi ako, dati ang daming mga contents na hindi maganda. And then,
wala na ba ngayon?
Marami pa rin naman. Pero sabi ko, kung ako, imbes na mag-complain ako, I'll start sa sarili ko. Right? Provide quality contents, provide quality service sa mga clients mo. And yun. Start with yourself, guys. Especially sa mga students. You have big dreams, believe, and maraming susuporta sa inyo, as in marami. Just look out. Kasi yung mundo sobrang laki.
Anything that you wanna promote, Myrtle?
I don't wanna promote actually. So, it's just kusa Alam mo yon yung parang law of attraction, magnetism. So, just follow Block Tides and my own brand, Myrtleology. So, I'm checking if I'm still gonna be a singer, if I'm gonna still launch my own album. Kasi ang dami na nag-i-invite.
I didn't know.
Why not? And then, I just recently signed up being a spiritual guide. When it comes to experts' advice and then spirituality, mga mental health, dun pala ako dadalhin. Hindi ko alam. So, I'm just going with the flow. Go with the flow, guys. Kasi you'll not know. It's the best leap of faith that you will actually take. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
May dagdag ako
Yes,
super
go ahead.
quick
Go
lang.
ahead. Go ahead.
Kasi kanina you said, parang what if you put out something tas 5 years from now, you're not proud of it. Diba we don't want that. But I also realize we're always evolving and we all go through different seasons. So if at any point there was an opinion that you gave or something that you put out that you may have felt na that's not me anymore. It's
Yes.
okay to grow. It's okay
Yes.
to change. It's okay to make mistakes. And you could, be humble enough to say, okay, I learned now. I know
Yes.
better.
Nice. That's
Yes.
Oh
nice.
my gosh.
Yes. Well, there you have it. I don't think I have enough time to wrap up everything, and they have really said it very specifically coming from their own opinions, our own opinions. I guess for me to just wrap it up, this influencer, KOLs, content creators, and the rise to relevance conversation, it's just, what I learned from them and what I always say also is to remember to always use your voice. And more and more, you're realizing that when you're using your voice, then you're using your influence. And then when you're using your influence, then you become relevant to other people and you become a KOL in a way, right? Without you sometimes even knowing that you're actually becoming that KOL that probably some of you or some of us, like probably including myself, doesn't even dreamt of, right? Like sabi nga ni Abby. But I think I'm leading to that point to where you have to design your life eh. And when you design your life, whether as an influencer, a KOL, or just an ordinary person, if that's what you want, because everyone can be ordinary, anyone can be extraordinary. Again, it's depending on your perspective. But again, that's something, whether it's wrong or right that you have done in the past, you have to be able to face that. And 5 years, 10 years from now, you're still humble enough to accept that, and you're still proud that you have done that and that you move forward and do something better. And I guess that's also one thing that I have learned during the time that I'm doing a lot of the many things that I'm doing, and part of it, of course, is TNC. And thanks to the team, no, and especially to the partners of TNC also supporting us for the loots. Nandito yan Okay, for the goodie bags and the tokens that we're providing for the 12 series that PRSP Education Committee has actually done for the youth and the young professionals. I guess for me, aside from using your voice, is use your voice also for the good. In my experience, at least for the past 2-3 years in doing TNC, this is probably the longest time that a lot of my opinion in using my voice has been misunderstood. And I guess that's part of the learning curve for me and even for many people, right? It's so hard, to be honest with you, to be in a position where we are using our voice, braving enough, to raise a concern or to raise awareness. Because at the back of your head, iniisip mo, maintindihan ba ng mga tao? Or will I just subject myself or even my family to an opinion na hindi ko naman kailangan? Or to a judgment na hindi ko naman talaga intention? I guess at the end of the day, what drives you, or at least for myself, what drives me is that it's very clear in my heart that I'm responsible for the things that I'm doing. I can't do everything right? Nobody does that, right? But I guess it's more when you do something and you have to correct yourself, then you just accept it. And then you ask forgiveness, right? From the people or especially to the Lord, diba? So yun ang pinaka-importante. And as you design your life as individuals, as young professionals, take out the entitlement kasi everything that you're seeing everything that you're seeing here came from hard work. No age will define you of that, but take out all the entitlements. I think yun talaga yun.
Really hard work yun.
Diba? You have to be hardworking. You have to be authentic. You have to be truthful. But most importantly, you have to be responsible. Because that will lead you to helping me change the world. Okay? So that ends up our conversation. And please, I will emphasize that all these things that we're doing with PRSP, the education committee is doing so much because in one way or the other, what we all really just want is for each and every one of us to have that 1% or that one contribution to really changing the world to become a better place. Let's use digital platform only for good as much as we can, no matter how hard it is. So again, thank you so much to everyone who made this possible, to the PRSP, to the education team, IE, and everyone in the group. Of course, Myrtle, Abby, And Jill, thank you for your time. Thank you also for trusting me to be part of this conversation. This is Apple Manansala again from the new channel. See you online. #TNC now. Bye!
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.